Hey guys, welcome back to the Deep Threats Podcast. We are here as always talking football. It is week 4 of the NFL and we are ecstatic to be back out here. I'm trying to figure out my audio just to let you guys all know that out there in the chat. It's driving me insane. I know that you guys have had an echo for the past few weeks and no one said anything, so obviously it's not bothering you guys as much as it's bothering me, but it's been bothering me immensely, and I don't know if it's like low mic, high mic. I haven't decided where I need to put this mic yet because I think there's an echo from somewhere in the room, and I don't know where it is. But that being said, we're going to get into it. It is week 4. All of you guys need to make sure your rosters are set by 9:30 a.m. I actually forgot to put out my group chat and sleeper. I'll probably do that while Wheels is talking today. You have the London game today. It is 9:30, Atlanta versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is going to happen today. So make sure your rosters are set, and we are going to get into that game first today. But as always, you have me, your host of the show, KJAM, and my wonderful co-host here, Wheels.
Hello. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now I can hear it.
Was I even on at all?
No, you're on. You're on.
Why do you have me volume all the way down?
Maybe that's why we're...
He had me volumed all the way down. If you guys couldn't hear a word I said, we're working on Wheels. Just letting y'all know that.
Brian. There we go.
So, just giving you guys that heads up. We are here. We are live. You have me, as always, the host.
Okay. We're good. Anna
Thank God you heard it all. I am pretty loud, though, so she might have heard me. She might have just heard me in the house in general.
Picked up off of mine.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think I am picking up off yours, and that's the echo that I think we're getting. But I don't know if I talk lower and quieter to the mic.
Like me.
Or if I should just be me, and if there's an echo, we figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
So, but that does come with the territory of a non-sound stage performing area. So
we got our first early game this year in London.
Yeah.
You got the Jags versus the Falcons.
Yeah.
The last 5 meetings.
That is going to be exciting. What?
Yeah.
Last 5 meetings?
Last 5 meetings, the Atlanta Falcons have been the victors 4 times.
Can they go into the Jacksonville Jaguars house and tear it up? Duval!
I don't know. The Jaguars might as well move to London because they have one of the highest crowd percentages of all teams that have played there in recent years. So they travel very well to London, and it seems like the UK is just enamored with American football.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what?
It's pretty telling.
I really do think there's going to be a team going on over there. And I really do.
Next year, they announced there will be games in Germany, I believe, from what the NFL has said. Do you want to get into the rule changes real quick and talk about that?
Hold on, I got a quick question for us. And I don't know if he's going to watch the show or not, but he had a question today, and it might be early. Deebo Samuel or A.J. Brown? You could take Deebo, and the San Francisco 49ers are playing the Arizona Cardinals.
It's a bad defense. That showed up.
Arizona showed up every week since week 1, man.
And then
or A.J. Brown, which is the Philadelphia Eagles, and they are playing Washington. I think I'm going to have to say...
go up against Curl,
I'm going to have to say A.J. Brown. I'm going to have to say A.J. Brown.
Where are they at?
Yeah, well, the question is Deebo or is Ayuk coming back?
And then where are they playing? Are they playing in Philly, or are they playing in?
I think it's in Washington. It is.
Check that weather real quick because that plays a very big factor into who I would pick weather-wise. Dome's obviously a lot easier.
No, sorry, it's in Philly.
Okay, and
it's nice right now.
And he had a good game last week. My only issue with that wide receiver core is I traded Devontae Smith. It seems like
we'll get into that a little bit later.
There's a lot of back and forth.
That was just a question I know for the chat.
I would start A.J. Brown just because of the success he's had last week. And I think that's going to be a heavy passing game because as much as I like DeAndre Swift, I'm starting him this week. I don't know how he's going to do against that defensive line because that defensive line has looked very healthy and they've looked very good these last few weeks.
Right.
So, I mean, other than the tush push, I don't know how much yards.
Which they're talking about illegalized now. Hey, you know what? Do you want to let's get into this Jacksonville game because this game is happening here soon. So what are the injuries that we're having in this game? Because I'm assuming that our actives and inactives are ready to go.
Yeah. So
okay. So what do we got in this game?
Jaguars injuries. Zay Jones is out.
All right.
So he's out. That is great.
That's good for Terrace Marshall.
Zay Jones is on the Jags. Terrence Marshall.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry.
Panthers. You're doing what I did last week.
That DJ Chark, Terrace Marshall bullshit. Yeah, I did that last week.
Devin Lloyd is out. Antonio Johnson, safety, is out. Jamal Agnew is questionable, another wide receiver. Fullerunso Fatakashi, defensive lineman, is questionable. Can't believe I announced that right. Anton Harrison.
Enunciated that right? Announced it right?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Leave me alone. Anton Harrison, questionable. Andrew Wingard, unknown. And Josh Allen, outside linebacker, unknown. And then we go to the Falcons, and Josh Alley, wide receiver, depth guy, out. Cordero Patterson, questionable. And that's about it. Those are the only injuries for that game right now that I have seen.
And to be honest with you, the Cordero Patterson doesn't really matter.
No,
because they've been using Tyler Algier and Bijan's been getting like 65 to 80% of snaps, and then Tyler Algier's out there 30 to 50% of the time. So like, it's not much of a Cordero doesn't even need to be there at this point.
No. I mean, we'll get in the stardom situms. I have some input on that, but Cordero Patterson hasn't really needed to show up in that running game because of the depth they have with drafting Bijan so high, and you have Tyler Algier, who showed out last year, one of the best, I believe, rushing backs out of the draft last year. So that team is definitely going to be poised on the run against the Jags this week. While you have, I can't remember his name, quarterback for Atlanta.
Desmond Ridder?
Desmond Ridder is kind of coming into his own with passing. He is questionable at throwing the ball past the 10-yard chains in the last couple of games. He seems, I don't know if he's scared to, or if
most accurate quarterback in the NFL right now,
or if the confidence just isn't there. But he's also throwing like 5-yard slants. So, I mean, it counts, I guess.
Accuracy's accuracy. Ask Tom Brady. All you got to do is be accurate as long as you don't make mistakes. And that's what Atlanta was doing until that last game. So this game's hard for me, right? Because if we're putting bets out there, I was looking at the bets, the over-unders on yardage. I think T-Law was somewhere around like 228 is the over-under. And I think Desmond was right around 180. I don't like either of those because I think Atlanta can hold T-Law under 228. And I just don't have the confidence in Desmond throwing over 180 yet. I just don't have that confidence. So if I had to bet, I actually would bet the under on both of those guys. Yeah. But is T-Law going to have a bounce back game?
I think this
and look like the T-Law we expected to start the year.
In London, I think in London under the lights, prime time early game, he's going to have 2 passing touchdowns and 280 yards.
Wow. So you're taking the over.
Yeah. I'll take the over. I betted the over. So
this game for me, and if you saw the thumbnail, this game for me is a huge running back heavy game. I see a lot of ETN. I see a lot of Bijan Robinson in this game. I see, to be honest, I almost changed this card in the center to be Bijan versus ETN because I feel like those are going to be the two dynamic guys today on that field.
Yeah, I mean, I'd start ETN. I would start Bijan. I don't know if I start Algier, depending, 14-man league.
I don't
14-man league. I would start
at
him.
this point.
It's
there's not much starting you can do with Algier because he's lost snap percentages weekly.
Week. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that he won't be out there. They might use a lot more Bijan in the pass game in this game, and Algier more in the run game this game. And it all depends on Kyle Pitts and Drake London. And can these guys get open and downfield? Can they give Desmond Ridder Here's what I'll tell you. Desmond Ridder is not a Tua. He's not going to throw a guy open. He's not going to see that mark downfield and be able to hit him in stride. Desmond Ridder is the prototypical, which is not prototypical. He's the typical NFL quarterback who's 20 and below. And I'm going to be honest, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, all of these guys struggle with this, being able to throw a guy open. They need a dynamic receiver who has a good break.
I don't know.
And Desmond Ridder is that same concept of a quarterback. He needs a dynamic receiver who has a good break.
Mahomes can hit guys in stride with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but Mahomes has a problem seeing the break and where the receiver's going to be open.
He's good, though.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying that their quarterbacks struggle with this in the league nowadays. Like back in the day,
guys struggle 100%.
Julio Jones wasn't open. Matt Ryan would throw a ball. Julio Jones would go get it.
Yeah.
Right? Roddy White would go get it. Yeah. Like, even when you look at like the Drew Brees system, like, what's his name? Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, Terry McLaurin with Scary Terry.
No.
Are you talking about Michael Thomas?
Who was the Saints wide receiver?
Michael Thomas.
Back in the day with Drew Brees.
Shit.
I wanted to say Cortland Sutton, but it's not. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Okay. Good receiver. Didn't always have the greatest breaks, but Drew Brees knew how to throw him out of his break. Okay? And that's kind of my argument in this situation. Desmond Ritter's not a good guy to throw guys out of their break or open. He's going to hit the open man, and I think that's where they're struggling is Kyle Pitts isn't creating too much separation, and Drake London isn't creating too much separation.
Marquise Colston.
Yeah, Marquise Colston, correct. So these guys aren't creating much separation, which is making it slightly harder on Desmond Ridder to. That's why he's being protective and checking down, throwing the 5-yard outs, throwing the quick ball. They're not throwing downfield because
they're not in an air raid system.
But the problem is when you look at Kyle Pitts and you look at Drake London, those are 50-50 guys. Throw them the ball, give them the opportunity, and when they start doing that, I think they'll be fine.
I think at this point, the Falcons need to put.
Thanks for the announcement, Divo. We appreciate you being here.
I think the Falcons need to put Pitts out wide instead of the slot.
He is. He's playing in. Well, I see what you're saying. As an X, I got you.
Don't play him as a tight end. Play him as an X. Put him outside.
I got you. I mean, I think what they're doing is they're running him at the slot and they're popping him out.
Yeah.
So he can get outside, but it's. This is that separation factor. Like Desmond Ridder has to see his separation.
Yeah, but the thing is so with the recent linebacker changes in the last, 5 to 10 years, I would have to say, is the linebackers are getting faster and they're getting better in zone coverage. So essentially, they're getting bigger. And I think the issue with having Kyle Pitts line up
very giant
line up as a tight end against the linebackers, he's going to have trouble getting open over the 5 yards and go slant. I think you have a better chance of going against a D-back because you're oversized against him, so you can just use raw strength to get past.
Well, and Kyle Pitts,
and you're not going to go up against the number one because they'll take Drake London.
Kyle Pitts started this genre of tight end, right? That's become wide receiver. Yeah. You're Luke Musgrave. You're Dalton Kincaid.
And he hasn't lived
you're
up to
Sam
the hype
Laporta. So it's not who's throwing him the ball.
I'll take Sam.
Matt Ryan on his final year in Atlanta, and then Desmond Ridder for 2 years.
Rest of their careers.
All right. So who are you taking in this game, and how is it looking for you? And then is there anybody that you like in this game that I think we should start? Obviously, I think ETN, Bijan are starters. You have to start T-Law because you probably drafted him as your starting quarterback.
I would start Evan Ingram. I think he's good for a touchdown and about 45 yards.
Okay, so about 14 points tops.
I would start Calvin Ridley. I think he's good for about 80 yards and 8 receptions. And I think
he struggled last week.
This is his bounce back. And I think Christian Kirk is going to have a touchdown, but have about 5 receptions, maybe 45, 48 yards.
Okay.
And then I wouldn't be surprised if they involved ETN or Tank Bigsby both in the rushing game tonight.
Tank's been getting a lot more reps, and to be honest, if this game goes as it should,
he should.
Which should mean that they are up by 2 scores, they should be running the ball.
Yeah,
right. Like that's how this game should be going.
Yeah. I would sit Kyle Pitts. I would sit Desmond Ridder.
By the way, it's crazy that they are favored being 1-2, playing the way they are over Atlanta, who's playing very good football, being 2-1. Yet Jacksonville's favored, and they are favored by 3 at home, which is your classic argument. Yeah. You got to take Jacksonville if it's 3 or under.
And I know everybody's going to say, oh, you can't sit Kyle Pitts. He had a great game last time he was here. Look who was quarterback last time he was here. It wasn't Desmond Ridder. Like we said, Desmond Ridder doesn't have that potential to have those big open plays that he needs. Kyle Pitts is a vert guy. He gets most of his yards over the top. He'll get some yards over the middle, but he excels in over-the-top yardage against linebackers and defensive backs. So for that reason, I'm going to sit Kyle Pitts. I'll start.
That exact reason I would play Kyle Pitts, because when you're looking at the secondary defense of the Jacksonville Jaguars, it's not there.
I get it, but I think that's where Drake London's going to steal a lot of. I think this.
There's only two guys.
I think this is a Drake London.
Yeah, I mean,
game.
to be honest, this is one of those games, and I don't know who's out on your guys' waiver wires. I don't know if you're struggling for an extra receiver, but Matt Collins in this game could be a very good game.
Yeah, you've been hyping him up for a minute.
But Matt Collins, outside of that takeaway touchdown that they stole from him last week, Matt Collins has been consistent at the start of this year. He's a 28-year-old receiver.
I mean, he was good last year for the Raiders. I mean, he was very good.
So I kind of, if you're looking for a receiver and you're down to your waiver wire and you're like, shit, there's nobody out there, I can see Matt Collins putting up 8 to 16. He has that potential, and it's a very wide range.
Yeah,
but he has the potential to put up 16 points.
Like we say, I mean, someone's going to get open. It happens every week. You see a guy, KJ Osborne, a couple weeks ago. I mean, he had a great game. You have all these guys, these lower tier, wide receivers. They're not your 1 and 2. They're your bench guys, your depth wide receivers, and they get theirs. I mean, it's what happens in the NFL constantly, because you're going to be covering the main guys, and you're okay to give up some big plays to the lower level, lower tiered guys. You can live with that as a DC.
Right.
But Matt Collins, I think he could be. I don't know. I want to say he can be a 2, but I definitely see him having potential.
He is a solid 2. He is a solid 2, and he has been a solid 2.
As a 2.
So that being said, let's jump right into the 1 o'clock games. I think that's all. You know what? We didn't call scores. What do you want to call for your scores on this game for the London game?
24-10.
By the way, I want to take back Thursday. We were right on the outcome. We were right on the outcome.
I did.
We called the outcome.
I got the 3 first touchdowns right.
Did you really? Yeah. That's crazy. We called the outcome, but we did not see the game going the way it went.
No.
So that was kind of on us.
Jordan Love played a real defense, and Dan Campbell said, "You know what? Try me."
It's funny because that's what I said, remember? I said about the Saints. He struggled against the Saints. They barely won that game in the final drive. Barely won that game.
It's like they gifted it to him.
Right. Well, and it doesn't help when you take out Derek Carr and he's not there in the second half.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I did forget about that, honestly.
And Jameis Winston really hasn't had any starting reps.
No.
And then you go into this game and now you play another good defense. And they're like, by the way, Aiden looks amazing. Like, they're doing with Aiden what the Browns are finally doing with Miles. They're letting the playmakers make plays on that defensive line, and when you see Aiden Hutchinson out there doing what he's doing, you're looking at defensive player of the year potential on this defense.
And I know a lot of people were mad that Jahmyr Gibbs didn't get touches, but guess what? David Montgomery, that was the game plan. Run it down their throats, make them stop them, and they
and I don't want to dive into that because I've been dealing with that argument all week. He's a rookie running back. He's getting great snaps. It's the same thing with Tyjae Spears. He's getting great snaps as Tyjae. He's getting 6 yards of carry. Everybody's like, well, why don't you just start the guy that's making 6 yards of carry? Well, maybe because there's a little bit of provability back there, and they paid Montgomery for 3 years.
Yeah, and I think going into your conversation, what do we always say about a running back? They have a shorter life. They have a shorter shelf life than
life
most
expectancy.
Other
They're gonna die by the age of 27.
They have a shorter shelf life than most other NFL players, but it seems like a lot of these guys that are getting drafted, and they're slowly kind of ticking them in to the running game, passing game. They don't want to just throw them out there. Right. That's how injuries happen. I mean, obviously, unless it's your Saquon.
And next week, we'll get probably more into this Jahmyr Montgomery conversation.
But, I mean, just hold on them. Don't sell them for cheap. If you're in
do not sell Jahmyr for cheap.
If you're in Dynasty, do not sell Jahmyr.
To be honest, right now,
I would keep him. So just
even in a redraft, I like him in the later part of the season because what I was telling Ryan is this might be a game plan is that they're going to come in hot with Monty, and then they're just going to ride Monty until where the people figure out the game plan, and then they're going to go. Jahmyr.
Yeah, there's a lot of volatility in volatility in a lot of the running games right now with a lot of the teams like the Dolphins. Both those guys popped off. I mean, everybody's going to be starting those guys. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, you're going to have a lot of guys starting some of those guys every week. It's just unless you have a proven back like a Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb before his injury, you're comfortable with starting that guy. Christian McCaffrey, you're comfortable with. So. That's where
Jahmyr's still going to sit there for you guys as an RB3 right now at this point. He can't be a 1 or 2 because there's no trust factor.
Him.
Yeah. So 21-17, Johnny says for the Jags. You said 21-10, 24-10 or 21-10?
21-10.
21-10. So both of you are calling the spread. The spread is 3 that the Jags are favored by. I'm going to say You're saying bounce back game. Atlanta's defense has been pretty good.
Do you think this is a prove it game for Desmond Ridder? Maybe.
No. I think that this is
a prove it game.
I think Jacksonville's struggling. I really truly do, and I want Trevor Lawrence to bounce back, but I think they're playing another good defense. Like Atlanta's got a good defense. It's not the greatest, but it's a good defense, like top 10 right now. They're ranking in like passing or rushing defense. Like they're up there right now. So
you know what this reminds me of, and I hate comparing it because it's our home team. After the playoff season with the Browns, it's kind of this feels like their expectations are high and they're not there.
Well, and they barely made it there last year, and then we increased the expectations, and they really didn't do much but get Calvin Ridley back.
And I think they're falling down. Their defense is just slow. And like you said, their secondary
I'm gonna say,
spotty.
And this could be my upset of the week, I guess. I'm gonna say Atlanta in this game, and I'm gonna put Atlanta here. And I kind of like Johnny's score. It's 21-17 Atlanta.
Would that be an upset though? Because aren't they favored?
No, Jacksonville's favored, which is the crazy part that Jacksonville's favored.
Yeah, we were talking.
I feel if Jacksonville comes in as the underdog, they win this game. But because Jacksonville's favored going into their hometown, Atlanta's like, hey, we like to play over here once or twice a year too.
Yeah, both these teams have traveled to London, I think, a lot in the last 5 years.
So I mean,
I think they've played each other twice in London.
So that's kind of what I got going on. I got Atlanta in this game. I don't have a whole lot on Atlanta in this game.
No.
I expect a close game. I expect this. The over-under on this game is 43, depending on where you're betting. I think FanDuel it's 43. I think we all just took the under, every single one of us.
Yeah, I mean,
which is kind of a shock.
I stay away from over-under scores, especially when they travel to like London, because it's just
they're not normally big scoring games. Normally, but
no, because you got that time change, and a lot of those teams. I think they've been there for the last couple of days. I know they travel a lot earlier than other teams to other cities, so they have probably been there since Friday, I would have to say, most likely.
Could not tell you.
Of at least
I didn't check their traveling schedule. I'm assuming they've been there for 2 days prior to the game, though. All right, we're going to jump into the 1 o'clocks. What do we got? The LA Rams against the Saints? Is that?
Rams-Colts.
Well, it's funny because I haven't turned it on. When I turned it on, it's Rams-Colts. That explains so much. I need to... Whatever. Okay, so LA against the Indianapolis Colts. This one is in Indy. What are you thinking here? Because LA kind of struggled last week.
I think Anthony Richardson back?
Anthony Richardson. I don't think he's out.
Let's
put it this way. He was taking starting reps at practice.
Okay, so Stafford looked bad. That offense looked bad against Cincinnati.
And let's not forget that the Colts are in first place in their division at 2-1.
I know everybody's, they're without Cooper Kupp. I understand you're without Cooper Kupp. But
thank you, Johnny. He did clear concussion protocol, so he should be active for the game. Minshew should be the backup.
I start Anthony Richardson. If I had to choose a quarterback out of this game,
Johnny, is Jonathan Taylor back?
Do I start Zach Moss this game?
Hell yes.
And an 8-man?
Yes, it's a run-up first offense.
Over Alexander Madison?
Yes! What, are you afraid of a 40-year-old Aaron Donald?
Yeah, it could be.
I'm not afraid of Aaron Donald at this point.
In fantasy, it hurts so bad.
I'm starting. There's no rate. Like Zach Moss is averaging like 18 points a game, fantasy-wise.
He's doing good.
Like, you have to start Zach Moss. Especially with Akers now. That's a good point. No, Akers is on Minnesota. Mm-hmm. You said over Madison. So now that Madison has to kind of split reps with Akers. Now, again, I don't take a whole lot into the Akers trade because it was a 5th-round pick in like 2026. It wasn't like next year's 5th rounder. So I don't have a lot of value in the Akers trade. I just think they wanted a little more depth and they wanted someone that could pass catch. So I would... Anybody that owns Cam Akers, just stash him on your bench for another week. See how they're going to utilize Cam Akers, but we'll get into that in the Minnesota game.
I think he's droppable at this point.
We'll get to that in the Minnesota game. So LA Rams, what do we got here? How's Puka? Got a good Puka night? Is he healthy?
I think Puka's starting to peel back. He's getting a lot of these because you got to remember that team has Tutu Atwell. You got Van Jefferson. You have Puka Nacua.
Whoa. Van Jefferson, just get him out of there. You
got to remember, so Puka wasn't going against the number ones. Last week he did. If you watch that offense,
yeah, but
he went against the number one.
last week I don't. And 6.5 sacks. The Bengals were up Stafford's butthole.
I know, but
Stafford's still pulling Bengals out of his butt from today.
And what do we say about, secondaries going up against these young rookies? They're gonna be seen. They're gonna prep for him. I think this is a Tutu Atwell game.
I mean, I like them both.
Receiver.
I like them both. They're both going to get 10. They're going to get both going to get 10 plus targets. That hasn't changed.
Yeah, I just don't think don't expect 25 to 28 from Puka. Expect about 15 to 18.
To be honest, I see this game going a lot like the Bengals game. That we were wrong on. Also. We did call that a low scoring game actually.
I think we did. Yeah,
I think we did.
It's just, we did because of the injury to
Joe Burrow, and then we didn't call T. Higgins dropping half his passes.
No, but I'll talk about that when we get to that game.
Yeah, so I think I like Stafford in this game. If you have Stafford, I would start him. I like Puka. I like Tutu. I like Kyren, right?
Kyren Williams, yes.
Yeah, I like Kyren. Mainly because there's nobody else right there behind that.
Higbee. Do we start Higbee?
I think you still have to start Higbee because Van Jefferson and if Cooper Kupp comes back, Higbee's going to lose targets. It's going to be Puka, Kupp, Tutu.
Yeah.
I think Higbee's going to lose targets, but because Higbee still has the best chemistry with Stafford,
he's going to remain there.
I think he's going to remain at 6 to 8 targets a game.
And I believe they just signed him to a 3-year extension.
Yeah, so I like Higbee. Now, again, we're talking, there's only really 3 tight ends you can start that you're like X factor. Everybody else, you're just hoping for 10 points out of.
They're bubbles.
Everybody you're hoping for 10 points out of a tight end because it's just that's what you're hoping for. Yeah, you're just praying you got the one tight end that scored a touchdown.
Yeah, and so I'm in a league, though. There is no tight end, but I drafted 2 tight ends. I have Hawkinson and Kelsey both, and they're both pretty decent right now.
So it's not, who gives a shit about your team?
Don't hate on me.
All right. And then the Colts, who's the tight end there? Is it Jelani? Jelani's out, though. I think Jelani's on IR. Look that up for me because I think it might be the rookie out of Miami. Was it Will Mallory? Will Mallory starting this week? I could be wrong. I think Will's on Tennessee.
Grayson and Will Mallory's he's 3rd on the depth chart.
Yeah, but he's 2 on the depth chart.
There's Mo Alley Cox.
Mo Alley's still there.
He hasn't gotten anything.
Yeah, I like Will Mallory over any of those tight ends, and to be honest, this game here, I like. I know it's funny because I've been trying to offer Alec Pearson trades all week, and people have been ripping me a new one. I like Alec Pierce probably for 4 receptions, but for 45 yards. And then everybody else I see moving down the board: James Cook, Swift, or Jalen Waddle. For Jalen Waddle.
Trade
other wide
Swift.
receivers are Garrett Wilson and T. Higgins.
I would trade Swift for Jalen Waddle.
James Cook or Swift for Jalen Waddle.
Swift.
If you can trade James Cook for Jalen Waddle, I would do it in a heartbeat.
I think James Cook's ceiling is getting higher every week because they're starting to run more.
Is he getting Jalen Waddle?
Are you getting Jalen Waddle?
Or who are you getting in this trade? Waddle? Because if you... Let's put it this way. I like Swift over Cook, and I like Waddle over both. Oh, yeah. Trade Cook. Get rid of Cook.
Hold on. Who's your other running backs real quick?
I'm keeping Swift. Swift looks like a monster on that offense.
That I have Swift, and that running game it's scary because you don't know week in and week out.
God, I love Swift.
Yeah, trade Swift. Yeah.
What? Trade Cook. Swift, trade Cook. Keep Swift and CMC. Yeah.
Trade Cook.
Yeah. That's if you can trade Cook for Waddle and they'll take that.
And keep Higgins. I
still like Swift over Cook in half PPR.
Do not trade Higgins.
That's in a 10-man.
Either.
Ooh. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. No, I can definitely decide. You definitely trade Cook.
Trade Cook.
I don't like Cook at all. I think Cook is overhyped. He's on an offense that really struggles with production of running backs, and Josh Allen taking a role back in his rushing game has kind of ruined the offense a little bit. So, I mean, granted, Gabe Davis is looking very well. He's getting open for him, but I definitely would trade Cook and get Waddle. Especially if Waddle's coming back healthy this week. I like Waddle. Creecraft's out. Creecraft's on the IR. And then Braxton Berrios is their 3rd wide receiver. So, I like Waddle. I really like Waddle going in towards the later part of the season. So Colts, but I was getting into this. You have Alex Pierce. You have Josh Downs, who has really stepped up in that offense. And then you have the veteran, who I always forget his name, Michael Pittman. I like the younger guys this game. I like the younger guys this game. Anthony Richardson back. I like it.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I don't know how to pronounce your name. I want to say Taijitu, but I don't want to mess that up. But thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, like I really like the younger receivers in this game because I think they're gonna burn the Rams secondary.
I think Anthony Richardson is going to have another good game as long as he doesn't get another concussion and isn't out by halftime.
Oh yeah, so this is actually another one of those games, right?
He's had 2 so far.
This week, and you guys, I don't know if you're betting. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Anthony Richardson, all for rushing touchdowns.
Oh yeah, I mean 2 of those, at least one of those guys is running back. So
they don't have a running back.
Yeah, the Ravens? No, they don't.
That's what I'm saying. So that's kind of what I see. I might actually bet on that this week, and I think it'll be fun. So who do you have in this game? Let's get to it real quick.
I had the Colts. I like the Colts. Anthony Richardson coming back. I think that team's hyped from last week.
Minshew stepped up, bro.
Yeah,
Minshew stepped up, baby.
Minshew's always stepped up.
Minshew mania.
Minshew, I think, is going to be the next guy who's going to float around the league, and wherever he's go, he's going to have value as his backup. He's going to have that value. I mean, even when he was with the Jags a couple years back, he's going to have value. But I'm going to take the Colts this week. I'll take Anthony Richardson for a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown, and at least 175 yards passing, I would have to say, 200 yards total. I would take Michael Pittman. I'd start him. I'd start Alec Pierce. The Rams side, obviously, I don't know if I start Matthew Stafford. It's rough. He hasn't looked good. He hasn't looked like the Matthew Stafford last year didn't look great, but 2 years ago. He's definitely, I think, regressed with the Cooper Kupp injury, but that's to be expected. I would start Puka. I would start Higbee, and I would start Tutu. You bench Van, 100% bench Van.
Right.
And then Zach Moss, I think I'm going to start him over Madison.
I love Zach Moss. I love Zach Moss.
And my issue is just this, who they're going up against. But I would take the Colts to win by field goal. That's who I like.
What do you have the score at, though?
17-14.
Oh, that's a low-scoring game. That is super low. What is the over-under on this game?
I'm going to say 36.5.
It's hard. I'm trying. I'm trying to find the game.
Hold on. I can pull it up.
What is it? You said Colts, right?
Colts Rams.
It's not letting me turn.
Hold on. Give me a second.
It's screwing with me.
NFL.
But while you're doing that, I will take. I agree with you. I like the Colts in this game. I like the Colts in this game.
They're calling a blowout.
I like the Colts in this game, 31-24.
And again, we go back to the Colts are giving a point to the Rams.
I actually just picked 55.
Okay.
I took
the over. I'm taking
31-24. Both these defenses have really kind of lacked in the secondary. To be honest, if you're playing either of these teams, I wouldn't take either of their defenses to start this week.
Not at all.
Johnny's got it super low. He said 18-15 Indy. Damn, I don't like when everybody picks the same teams. That struggles. But I did like Indy coming into tonight. So let's get on to the next game. Unless you guys have any questions about that Indy game, to be honest with you. We got the
Ravens, Browns.
No. Tampa Bay, the New Orleans Saints.
No, you go off the NFL.com.
Yes, I do. To be honest, once I put it in my thing, you're going off what I do. So, it's in order. It's in order, so I don't screw this up.
If the Chinese don't want you, then I don't either.
That's not nice. Sorry, this drives me insane. So let's get into the Tampa Bay, the Saints. Low-scoring game, personally, is how I feel about it, but Tampa Bay can bounce back in my mind and take this game if we really wanted to. I know that Baker's hurting after last week, and I think that this offense is going to spring back. Plus, you have Jameis Winston starting this game. If I recall correctly, Derek Carr is out with a shoulder injury. So, Jameis Winston can sling it, but the problem with Jameis Winston, as we all know, is turnovers. So Tampa Bay's defense starting in this one,
He's going up against his own team.
I wouldn't
team too.
Yeah, well, that's not the first time.
No.
But I like Tampa Bay's defense in this one just because, again, Jameis Winston likes to turn over the ball.
And this is Kamara's first week back.
Carr's a game-time decision with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, he is. He's a game time. With the AC joint, they said as long as he doesn't have any type of regression during warm-ups, he's going to play. But the issue is...
You're playing Tampa Bay's defense, one hit, game over.
And that's what I was about to say. At what point do you, if you're down and you know the game, you don't want to hurt him any longer for the season because you signed him to a pretty good contract. You say, all right, let's put Jameis Winston, let Derek Carr
Is Kamara back today?
I believe so.
How much do you see Kamara?
I don't know. Is he in football shape?
Oh, I would assume he's in football shape. I don't think he was out of football shape.
It just depends. With Derek Carr, he hasn't. With him being
so, here's what I say. I think
with him being suspended, he didn't get to practice with Derek Carr, so he doesn't. This is the
well,
first
but I think that might be the best thing for Derek Carr because now he could just kind of like here, Kamara,
like he used to do with Jacobs.
Yeah. So I think that if Kamara's in, it's hard for me to say because I don't know the game reps Kamara's going to get, and to be honest, I don't trust a guy coming off a suspension week 1, but Kamara's one of those guys that could go off.
Yeah. Or do you start Kendra Miller?
No, do not start Kendra Miller.
I'm happy.
Mainly because this week Kamara's back, and they're going to put Kamara out there, which just pulls me back on the Kendra Miller thing. I will tell you who I do have starting this week, and I like the option, and that is Taysom Hill as their tight end because he's going to be all over the field. I like Taysom Hill starting in this game. So if you can grab Taysom Hill, I would recommend, if you don't have a tight end in this game, maybe kind of throw in Taysom Hill and have fun with that one.
Some of that. That's a good point. So with the Derek Carr injury, maybe if he's feeling a little sore, they'll like you said, they'll bring Taysom Hill and maybe run a wildcat. Excuse me. I like that. So I would start Taysom Hill.
I see a lot of Taysom Hill utilization in this game
as a flex. Yeah,
I just see a lot of utilization in this game. Yeah, I don't think he's quarterback on the depth chart. I think he's tight end still. But you can start him as a tight end or a flex tight end. I'd prefer flex tight end if you have that option.
Yeah.
But I'm starting him as my tight end because Chig has not proven to me that he's ready to be out there all the time. So, but that being said, Michael Thomas is probably going to get 5 or 6 targets, maybe 8. Probably Olave. Well, if Jameis Winston's back, I can see a lot of Olave and a lot of Rashid Shaheed because Jameis likes to sling it.
Yeah, he's a deep throw, go out and get it type of guy.
Jameis is not afraid to throw an interception.
Michael Thomas is Mr. Slants.
Yeah, Jameis Winston's not afraid to throw interception. This is to be honest with you, if you can avoid this game at all costs, I would. Because
I'm not starting
outside of Tampa Bay. Like I would start everybody on Tampa Bay. I would start Rachaad White. I know you don't want to hear that.
No, I would start Rachaad White. I would start
Scary Terry.
Scary Terry's not out there. Michael Thomas.
Tampa Bay. Mike Evans. Twice I've done this today. I would start Mike Evans. I don't like Godwin.
K. Dotton.
I like K. Dotton more than Godwin, but Baker hasn't really utilized anybody outside of Mike Evans or the check down. It's been Rashad.
Probably because Mike Evans went up to him and said, "You better throw me the fucking ball.
I need my 1,000 yards this year."
I said,
"No, I like Rashad and I like Mike Evans. I like Baker. I think Baker in this game could have 18 to 20 points.
Do you think it's more of it's a bounce back game for him from last week?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I see this game going. It's low scoring. I'd say 24 or 21. I don't know. Let's go 24. I think they got a field goal to them. 24, 18. I
have
24-18 Tampa Bay.
I have 21-17 Tampa Bay.
Okay. Let me see if I can find that really quick.
Hold on. I have it up.
Nope, right here. So the over-under is 39.5. 24-18 is... I took the over. And then... You took the under?
21-17. So you're at 30,
you just took 30. The under.
Really?
Yeah. And the Saints are favored by 3.
What's the under over?
It's 39.5.
I would take the over then. If I'm a 1.5 differential, I take the over.
Okay, so the Saints is favored by 3 to 3.5. So yeah, 3.5. So Saints at home? Are you going Tampa Bay?
I'm taking Tampa. I like Tampa.
Okay, so right now we've taken all away teams, I think. No. The Rams were away.
No, we took the Jags.
Yeah.
I took the Jags.
No, I took Atlanta.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move out of this game. We'll get on to the next game. What do we got? We have, this is Miami Buffalo. Miami at Buffalo.
And
this is the test for both of these teams, right?
Miami is favored, or Miami is getting 3 points, and the under/over is 53.5.
Buffalo's favored at home.
Yep.
By 2.5, according to what I'm seeing.
So I'm going to tell you right now, as a Buffalo fan, this line
over/under is 53.5.
Yeah, this line makes absolutely zero sense.
If you can't tell, he's a Buffalo fan. He's wearing a Josh Allen jersey.
I will take Miami. I'm going to take Miami. I'm just going to come out and say I'm going to take Miami.
Johnny took the under for that Tampa Bay game.
I don't think they're going to pressure Tua, so there's going to get a lot of deep balls, and I don't know how much I trust that secondary that's getting a little bit older on the Buffalo side. So I would take the over, and I would take Miami straight. I don't even take the points. Take Miami straight. I think they win by 10 points.
All right. I mean,
I do not start Buffalo's defense. Maybe start the Dolphins. I do not start Buffalo. I don't.
Von Miller's still not back.
No, they have not looked the same since Von Miller's been out. He is a huge factor on that D-line. A huge factor. They're not getting to the quarterback.
I'm going to take Miami in this game. I have to. And how high is this team off last week?
Yeah, and they're underdogs. They're underdogs coming to Buffalo after putting up 70 on the Broncos. Like, come on.
I'll take the over too. This is 53.5.
This game makes the lines them being
Johnny. I like your score. I think I'm gonna go 35-21 Miami.
42-30. Yeah.
He took 72 on that over.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Buffalo's defense their secondary is.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I mean, I'm taking 35.
Who are they going up against, though?
I'm taking 35 because of the run game, though.
And they get Waddle back this week.
I'm taking 35 because of the run game. But keep in mind, Tua didn't throw like 300 yards last week. I get it. All Raheem Mostert, all Devin Achane.
I get it, but as soon as
it's Achane, by the way, not Achane. It's Achane.
It's Achane.
That's for all you guys out there because apparently he announced that.
Oh, yeah.
Achane.
A lot of people call him a Shane.
DeMar's starting.
DeMar is starting.
What? Now I'm definitely taking Miami to throw for 500 yards again. DeMar wasn't that good as it was in the first place. And I'm not trying to be a dick.
No.
He was their third corner at the time when he got hurt.
Don't take this the wrong way. DeMar was a no-name until his injury.
Yeah,
no hate towards Lamar or DeMar. That's no hate towards Buffalo.
His hate towards Lamar.
I do have hate towards Lamar. That's here nor there. Poyer's hurt.
I start Tyreek. I start Jalen Waddle. I start Achane. I start Mostert. I start Tua.
Who's their tight end?
I start Stephon Diggs. I start Josh Allen. I start James Cook. I don't know if I start Gabe Davis unless I have to, but Gabe Davis is still doing that 3 receptions for like 100 yards. And he's getting those big downfield yardages.
I start him. Khalil Shakir. If you're in a 12 to 14 man league,
you like Shakir?
I would look at flexing him.
Okay. Yeah,
He's another guy.
We just said it's going to be a high-scoring game, so Josh Allen has to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Like, Josh Allen has to throw the ball.
Yeah, because I think they're going to stop the run. I think they're going to stop James Cook.
And if Josh Allen plays like he did, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, where he was precise in his passes?
It was week 2. He was 30 for 36.
Yeah, he was like almost precise in his passes. If he can do that again against... And by the way, Miami's not that good of a defense, and you can sling it on them.
Yeah.
So you can score on Miami, which is why I kind of like your score. What you said, 30 or 42-30 or something?
42-30.
I like that score. I mean, I'm going to hit the over on this game all day, which is crazy for 53.5. That is crazy.
This game doesn't make much sense to me with the lines. And a lot of times, this is what I say, if a line doesn't make sense to you, take the team getting points.
Which is crazy that the 2.5 to Buffalo is kind of crazy, and it's not winner. If it was winner, I would check on that all day.
Oh yeah.
But like, it's not winner.
You're 1st of October. It's not.
It's 75 degrees outside.
It ain't.
That's prime football weather, baby.
Yeah, they're not. Tua's not playing in a blizzard. Tua's not playing in heavy wind or rain.
Well, Poyer's hurt, which Johnny put that out there, which I like that input because that also makes it easier for Tua to throw downfield.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll move on to the next game. I'll try not to stay on this game too long either. Get into the injuries really quick before I jump into this game. This is Baltimore at Cleveland. Just an FYI, I hope to God David Njoku is all right. I heard he was in a house fire or something like that recently. He is game time decision. I don't know if he is playing in this game. Just an FYI.
Gonna play. He said on Twitter he's going to play.
Okay. Do you have that information?
Yeah,
all right. So give me the injuries in this game because it is not looking good for the Ravens.
No, it is not. So Browns we'll go to.
You're good. You can do the Browns first.
Browns injuries real quick are Deshaun Watson, questionable.
He will play. I will tell you that right now.
David Njoku, questionable. He will play. Jerome Ford, unknown. Shoulder injury. So keep an eye on that. I haven't really heard anything about that.
I haven't heard anything on that either. So I would assume he might be on a snap count. Kareem Hunt, which we already kind of saw last week, was going to take more of the snaps over Jerome Ford. And there might be more Pierre Strong in this game over Jerome. So this might be a split between Jerome and Pierre Strong, and Kareem Hunt's going to be the main back. Go ahead.
James Hudson, unknown ankle. Limited in participation in practice. He's played 2 games out of the 3. Greg Newsome, unknown elbow, limited practice.
He's been limited for the last 2 weeks, but he has played. So
Joe Bitonio, unknown. It was rest. He's gonna play.
Yeah,
and then with the Ravens,
I don't really stress about that O-line.
Get ready. Marlon Humphrey out corner. David Ajabo, linebacker, out. Rashad Bateman, wide receiver, out.
Ajabo's out? Oh, please throw the ball to tight ends.
Odell Beckham, wide receiver, out. Justice Hill, running back, questionable. Tyler Linderbaum, questionable, center. Marcus Williams, safety, questionable. Kyle Hamilton, safety, questionable. Ronnie Stanley, offensive tackle, questionable.
He's out.
Yeah, okay. Gus Edwards, running back, unknown, concussion. So I don't know if he's cleared concussion protocol yet. So right now I'm saying you start the wide receivers for the Browns.
Start the Browns defense.
You start the Browns defense. You start Amari Cooper. You start Njoku. I think
you have to start Mark Andrews.
You have to start Mark Andrews.
You got to start Zay Flowers at this point because that's the only person he's throwing the ball to is Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers.
Yeah, I don't know who else is on that team at wide receiver. 90% of their wide receivers
obviously you're starting Lamar Jackson because you think he's going to be the bulk of this offense at this point. I think the only issue is the Browns are giving up negative 36 yards before contact on rushing. So they're going to be in his face.
Yeah.
Now, I know Lamar is slippery, but tackling has been a promise in the Cleveland Browns, so I'm liking it.
Let me tell you how I think this running defense is going to play. JOK is going to spy Lamar. He will be on him all day. All day. And Myles Garrett is going to go wherever he wants on that line all day long. He's going to go right side, left side, D-tackle.
Thank you, Jim Schwartz.
He's going to be all over that line. Wherever he senses a weakness, wherever he sees, I can get through here, he's going to. So don't be surprised if you're looking, where's 95?
Here's what I do have a question for you on. So because our run game is the Browns is slightly, sounds like banged up and new. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Who do you start on the Browns for receivers? I know you said start them all, but we're not going to start them all.
No, so you start...
Elijah Moore is going to get targets out the butt.
Elijah, Amari Cooper, and I think this is a Tillman kind of game. I think he's going to step in.
So DPJ, because Tillman's not going to touch the field.
DPJ hasn't done anything.
DPJ's had 3 receptions, I think, each of the last 3 games. The difference is they haven't utilized him or Njoku. If Njoku's playing and he's on that field, I expect him to be targeted today.
Yeah.
If Ajabo's out, I expect the Browns to hit tight ends today. Harrison Bryant and Njoku.
Yeah,
I expect those tight ends to be hit. I see, and this is where I see this going. Okay, I see Deshaun Watson throwing the ball 38 times in this game with like 24 receptions. You take those 24 receptions to whoever gets them, but I see almost 40 throws in this game for Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson, yeah. I would have to say...
Lamar, I only see about 27 to 32 throws.
I have Deshaun Watson, 3 total touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing, 1 interception. Lamar Jackson, I have run, passing, touchdown.
If he could just stop
1 rushing,
interceptions.
And I think a fumble. I think Lamar's going to fumble.
It's been happening a lot in this league this year.
It's been weird. I don't know what's going on.
So if I had to pick a team...
2.5 Browns are giving.
Browns are
2.5.
favored.
Yep.
Browns are favored by 2.5 points.
38.5.
Because it is
under
at
over.
home. It is in Cleveland. It is a beautiful day in Cleveland. It's supposed to be a gorgeously sunny day today.
I take the Browns and I take the over.
Hey, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to take the Browns by a field goal kick. Because
That's a cop-out.
this has mattered, right? This has mattered, and we signed a kicker.
Justin Tucker lost the game for. Or I won't say Justin Tucker.
And I
lost the
swear
game.
to God, if he misses this field goal kick, I am going to be furious.
These games always somehow come down to a kicker.
Johnny, I like your score at 17-15. The only problem is I really do see the Browns offense being more dynamic, and they've scored like 24 points a game. I see the Browns somewhere around 30, and I still see the Ravens somewhere around like 18 to 20.
Yeah.
Because the
It's
Browns
Lamar. It's
defense is
Lamar.
so good,
It's
and
Lamar.
Lamar is dynamic. So Lamar's going to find a way to make plays. The
He's
problem
gonna
is
find
Lamar
the
can't
holes.
do everything. He can't do everything.
No. And you're gonna
this is the
spy
funny
Lamar.
part because like Brian's like, you hate Lamar. It's like, no. I don't hate Lamar. Lamar is a phenomenal athlete
Yeah.
who has a hard time being healthy because he tries to overdo all of what he does.
And his team's always been injured. Let's be honest. His
I
team
swear to
brings a lot
God,
of
Johnny,
injuries.
you're a Green Bay Packers fan. Don't talk shit like that because I hate those comments. Browns being Browns. It is so exhausting to hear that. And I'll tell you my upset of the week. It's not this game because obviously the Browns are favored. I'm taking the Browns in this game, and I'm going to take them at 31-24 just for you, Johnny. Also, I agree with that. I think if Gus is active, I think Gus will have that touchdown over today.
That's why I said rushing and passing, yeah.
But my upset of the week. Shit, I'm not there yet, but I'll jump to it.
That's fine.
My upset of the week
I wonder if we have the same upset.
is right here.
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Pittsburgh going to Houston, assuming that they are going to dominate defensively, forgetting that Houston has a defense that is solid and is not going to allow the Pittsburgh Steelers to score more than one passing touchdown. This game is funny. I have a 13-leg parlay in this game. Just in this game. Most of this offense is coming from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud will still throw the ball 36 times and probably be sacked. He'll probably be sacked 2 times.
I'd start Nico. I start Tank Dell. Both.
Yes.
I start both those guys. I start Damian Pierce.
What was your Brown score, really quick?
34-24, I'll say.
Okay, you got a 10-point spread. Browns?
Yeah.
Okay.
Browns.
By the way, don't ever bet on the Browns game with us.
Yeah, don't. I will. I'm just going to tell you right now.
We are biased like no other. And I will tell you that 100%.
I will never not take the Browns. I will never.
I wish Ryan was in the chat because Ryan would take the Ravens and he would bias it his way.
Yeah,
and then you could split the difference and pick that score.
Yeah, I'll never not take the Browns. That's a rule I have.
I 100% will not take the Browns, but not in a game that is highly contested and there's like 70 injuries on one team and only like 4 on the other.
Yeah.
So, and the Ravens are the Ravens. The Ravens will be the Ravens. Looks like they fired their training coach and they're still injured.
The Houston is favored or is getting 3 points in this game, and the under/over is.
It's because of the Steelers'
3.5.
defense.
And this is another line that makes zero sense to me.
Just an FYI, the Steelers offensively have scored, 4 touchdowns
Yeah, their
this year?
defense is the reason they're good.
Their defense has scored just as many touchdowns as their offense has,
So
pretty
I'm going
much.
to tell you right now, I'll take Houston. I'll take them straight all day long.
Money line?
I'll take money line. I'll take the. I'll take 40.
Ryan's not going to the game today because he's hosting the game today, and he says it costs too much per ticket because the Browns were expected to be good. It's like $200 a ticket. So yeah, that's why he's not going to the game today. He's like, I don't want to spend $500 just to go down there, and then I haven't even drank yet. So he can spend $500 on a whole bunch of food, and we can party and watch all the games at the same time.
I wish I could come, but I gotta go build furniture.
Game's not till 1:00.
Thank you, Emily.
All right, so Steelers, Houston. You're taking Houston money line.
I'm taking Houston money line. I start Tank Dell. I start Nico Collins. I start Damian Pierce. I start CJ Stroud.
Fast fact: Damian Pierce is under is 30 or 49.
Over.
I think on the day.
Over.
He has not run for over 45 yards this year.
And
he's playing the worst rushing defense.
Over.
I'm confused and conflicted in this game because I want to take the over.
What did I say?
But
what did I say about
Damian Pierce has not been capable of running over 50 yards.
What did I say about lines that make no sense? You always take the latter. Take the over. Take the over.
I'll tell you guys here. I'll see if I can pull it up.
It makes no sense. This line, Vegas. I don't know what's going on with Vegas. If they're lost, if there's giving money away, if there's insider information coming out or something. But this line makes zero sense to me. I would take the over for Dameon Pierce. I take 2 passing touchdowns for CJ Stroud. No interceptions because he hasn't thrown one yet, and he's looked pretty good. Tank Dell and Nico Collins. I have Tank Dell getting a touchdown and Nico Collins at
just an FYI
yards.
From Steelers Depot, Colin Cowherd today, and this is crazy. Colin Cowherd says the Steelers should trade TJ Watt.
I saw that.
For 3 first-rounders, George Pickens, a number 1 pick, draft Caleb Williams.
So you're giving up.
He is out on Kenny Pickett.
Colin Cowherd. There's no way in hell they're gonna do that.
That's crazy.
I know you're not listening, but I'm just gonna say you have some.
Johnny, do not take Houston. You have to take Pittsburgh. You have to take Pittsburgh, Johnny. Johnny, you have to take Pittsburgh. Like, we can't all sit here and take Houston. This is my upset of the week, and you guys are all on my side.
Houston by a touchdown.
This is insane. This is insane. This will be CJ Stroud's first game where he throws 3 touchdowns in the NFL.
Book it.
I like it. Let's go. I think he's. I think it's over 1. I think it's over 1.5. I think it's just over under on that.
I'm gonna take the over.
But hey,
if it's at 1.5, you take the over.
Steelers defense will still do what the Steelers defense does, right? They will get sacks. They will do phenomenal in this game. But the offense cannot surpass what Houston's defense is doing, and I still think C.J. Stroud is one of the better quarterbacks that have come into this league, and it's great. Hola, Ellie. And I think it's great. And I think that the Houston Texans will have a good game, and they will go 2-2, and they will be competing for that division because they have only increasingly gotten better week in and week out. And I enjoy that fact.
And this just speaks volumes of why we picked C.J. Stroud as the number 1 quarterback coming out of the draft. Not only because he was an Ohio State quarterback. That is not why. It's because of if you watch the tape on him, especially in the Georgia game, he stepped up big time. That's when he's like, you know what? This game's on me. It's time to take control. And that is all he has done in the last couple of weeks in Houston. And it just speaks volumes for what he has to do in the future. C.J. Stroud will be the best Ohio State quarterback to come out within the last 12
years. All right. So let's move on to the next AFC North game since we were just knocked out all the AFC North teams. This was my next game, but I went to the upset. So Cincinnati.
I stay away from this game as far as I can because Joe Burrow is questionable. Derrick Henry is probably going to run all over Cincinnati, but Ryan Tannehill has had issues throwing the ball. I would not be surprised if you may see Will Levis make an appearance in tonight's game or in today's game for maybe a drive or maybe the rest of the game.
Who take an appearance?
Will Levis.
I would be shocked. This division's not out of hand yet. If they win today and the Colts lose, this division is still competitive. And the Texans, like this whole division could be 2-2 after today.
It could be.
So you do not go to Will Levis yet. It's not Tannehill's fault that they are losing. Now, if it's a 4-score upset, then you see Will Levis.
That's right.
I don't see the Bengals with the way they've been playing going on a 4-score upset. Let alone if they do go up by 2 scores, I see Joe Burrow getting pulled to keep him healthy.
Exactly. So
let me give you that parlay, by the way.
Do you start Jamar?
Can I give you this parlay that I made today?
So I would start Derrick Henry. I start going.
This is a parlay for that Steelers game. I have Najee over 56.5.
Okay.
Because they're going to have to lean on Najee.
Yeah.
I got Tank Dell over 47.5 receiving yards. I got Dameon Pierce over 10.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
He's gotten 3 receptions each game.
Yeah.
I have him over 2.5 receptions.
Okay.
So I jumped that into there. Calvin Austin, the third, over 2.5 receptions. They've been targeting
4 to 5,
almost 8 sometimes. Tank Dell over 3.5 receptions.
Yeah, all day.
Nico Collins over 3.5 receptions.
All day.
George Pickens over 4.5 receptions.
All day.
Jalen Warren over 31.5 rushing yards. That one might be a struggle.
No, it won't. It won't be. They'll rely on him early towards the middle of the field.
George Pickens over 58.5 receiving yards.
I like that. What about Calvin? I have Calvin.
Najee Harris over 7.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
Jalen Warren over 17.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
Dameon Pierce over 49.5 rushing yards. Jesus. $1 returns $707.
What is that on?
That is on FanDuel. It is a 13-leg parlay, which you almost agreed with every single one. Its return is 70,000. So like it's a 70,000 bump. Isn't that crazy?
I don't think I'll make that one to me. I'll go throw $10.
I like that parlay. Is Burrow game time decision for this game? Do we know?
He's questionable.
And they're gonna start. Who did they pick up?
I have no idea.
They picked up
Yeah, I would start. So, okay, real quick, I'd start Joe Mixon. I think they're gonna lean on him pretty heavily. I would start Jamar Chase. I'd start T. Higgins. I would see this as a bounce back game kind of for T. Higgins personally after that the struggle he had against the Rams.
Okay, so
balls.
Johnny, from what I'm seeing, this is per covers.com. Joe Burrow is probable, not questionable. So Joe Burrow is going to play this game.
Yeah.
On top of that, Charlie Jones, who I was hyping up, I still love this kid. They put him on the IR. So that is a huge factor for their kick return.
Yeah.
Who are they going to have at kick return? It's probably going to be Trent Irwin, possibly.
Trent Irwin, yeah.
Irv Smith is out, hamstring injury. So
sad.
No tight end.
Talent.
No tight end right there. I mean, they have a tight end, but
do you start Boyd? Maybe he's going to get some more targets because
I start all these receivers. I see a bounce back game for Burrow.
I see
he's going to throw 45 times in this game, and I see a bounce back game for Burrow. I don't like Mixon this week. Personally,
on him. I think this is the game that they're going to throw him a couple passes. I have him.
I like him in the pass game.
3 receptions.
I don't like him in the run game.
Yards.
I don't like him in the run game. I like him in the pass game.
I can see it.
But yeah, I mean, tight ends Drew Sample, and Drew Sample always steps up.
Yeah, he's not your starter, but he's gonna go get a couple of his. He'll get some yards, some receptions. He'll show up when needed. If you need a 3rd and short. He gets 6 yards. I could see it 100%.
Now, and I did talk about the Tennessee Titans for a little bit. I know you were talking about, you obviously have to start Derrick Henry. Tyjae's been getting great snap percentage. He's been on the field. If you need to put Tyjae in a flex, you can easily do that. Tannehill, based on that last game I just saw with the Rams, Tannehill might be running for his life. So I kind of like Tyjae in the screen game. Chig, if you can't catch a ball this week, Chig, you better catch a ball. I understand you're playing the Browns defense as opposed to playing the Cincinnati Bengals defense.
Drake London, Anna. I start Drake London. Wide receiver, I go by, wide receiver 1 versus wide receiver
that's wide receiver 3. Tyler Boyd might not even get on the field. Yeah, he should. He should.
A couple receptions, but Drake London, I have getting at least 5 or 6 receptions in that game.
I'd take Drake London in that game too. But my issue is, right, so DeAndre Hopkins should have a decent game today. Who's there?
You're thinking of
whatchamacallit who can't catch a ball. Treylon Burks, who just can't seem to catch a ball. That's a struggle for me. Westbrook Akine is their 3rd receiver.
I always would say Westbrook Akine.
I would start Westbrook Akine over Treylon Burks, but Treylon Burks is getting 10 targets a game.
They're trying to feed him. He isn't developing.
Yeah.
And that is very telling for...
Hey, they traded a first for Treylon Burks. Don't forget, they traded A.J. Brown for Treylon Burks.
He was supposed to take over as A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown for Treylon Burks.
That is just...
Tannehill's just sitting there slitting his wrist.
Yeah, just
Corey Davis, Corey Davis, A.J. Brown. Corey Davis, A.J. Brown. It's ridiculous.
They're all gone.
Yeah, so... I will take a bounce back. I do like the Bengals in this game just because it is Cincinnati. The AFC North is a very tough division.
I'll tell you this. Eventually, Cincinnati and Joe Burrow, they're going to show up. They're not just going to, I
don't know. That offensive line, they have not fixed since Joe Burrow has come in this league, and they refuse to fix it.
Oh, 100%.
They refuse to fix it.
The same with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have reshuffled that offensive line, I think, 2 times now. In the last
it looks better
years.
than Cincy's offensive line.
Oh, yeah. When you're holding every play, it helps.
I like the low score in this game, Johnny. I think you have actually, Johnny, you've taken every game as a low-scoring game. Think of something different. 41.5. Bengals are favored going into Tennessee by a field goal. I take the Bengals by 10. I will say 31 to... Take them over 10. 31 to... I'll take 31-21. 31-21 Bengals. He's not Miami or Buffalo. We actually called the Steelers to lose, Ellie. So that one's for you. I know you're a fan of that. It's my upset of the week, though. It's not because I hate the Steelers. It's because I think that the Houston Texans
are going to be too much to handle.
They're underdogs.
Yeah,
they're underdogs, and everybody's like knocking on them. You know
what Houston reminds me of? They remind me of how Jacksonville was playing last
What's your Cincy score?
21-10.
So 21-10. So you took the they covered the spread. Wow, 11 points. So you got all right. I see Tennessee capable of scoring because I like Cam Taylor-Britt? That's the cornerback for
Cam Taylor-Britt.
I like what he's been doing. He's been playing really well in Cincy. But all right, Washington, Philly. This game, you want to watch this game? Just go watch the Tampa Bay game. Yeah. Because that's exactly what's going to happen today.
Yeah. Who are you taking? I'm taking
Philly.
Me too.
I'm taking Philly. I'm taking another DeAndre Swift. I love the run game here. I love the run game in this game because they're going to go up by 2-3 scores. I like everything in the run game for Philly. AJ Brown and then Devontae Smith. You have to start. You don't really have a choice.
No. So this is what I was going to say real quick about Devontae Smith, AJ Brown is. It seems like they kind of passed the baton back and forth for yardage, but if you look last year, eventually it evened out and they both were getting fed. I think this is the game where both of them are going to score, 15 to 25 fantasy points. I would have to say. This is when it's going to even out, against the secondary. I know you're going to go up against Curl, the defensive back. He's a pretty solid guy, but he can only cover one guy at a time.
That's right. Scary Terry, you're going to start in this game.
You got to start Scary Terry. I would start Jahan Doxson.
What about Brian Robinson?
Brian Robinson had an off week last week. You're going up against a very tough defensive line.
Just say no.
I would say no.
Just say no. It's okay.
I'm trying to talk myself.
I don't like Antonio Gibson. I don't like Brian Robinson in this game. Jalen Carter is like the most impactful guy that's come into the league in a few years, and this offensive line was already ridiculous, or this defensive line was already ridiculous. There's no way. I have a hard time even seeing them scoring 17 points.
Yeah. Maybe 10.
I got 35.
I mean, you saw what they did. Let's just remember, you saw what. Oh, you already said that. You saw what they did against the Tampa game.
Yeah, I said go watch the Tampa game again. And to be honest, I think Baker's better than Sam Howell.
Oh, 100%.
So I'll take 35-9.
3 field goals.
Yeah.
Or a touchdown.
Touchdown and a safety.
Safety. I don't know. I don't disagree. I don't.
Or a missed extra point and a field goal.
I'd sit Howell. I would sit Brian Robinson. I'd sit Antonio Gibson.
I don't think he's underrated. I think he's very, very evenly rated. Like, Howell's not a great quarterback. It's just we already said Bieniemy might be the reason that offense is doing what they're doing.
I'm telling you right now, Bieniemy was brought in to help develop Howell. And if he can't develop Howell, then they're going to go get a new quarterback next year. Whether it's Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. or Drake May, Penix.
I'm just saying you don't spell penis and say penis, but then throw an X on the end and now it's Penix.
What about penicillin? Is it penicillin?
No, there's an A. It's penicillin.
There's no A in penicillin. It's E.
Okay, but it's not penis. It's Penix.
Penicillin or penicillin?
No, I'm talking Penix.
I'm just trying to confuse.
Whatever. Where's this Philly game at? There it is. All right.
I take
the over-under in this game is 45, and I think we almost took 45 for Philly. So
I take Philly by 2.
I think I have the under. I think it's 35-9, so I actually have 44. I took the under.
This line is weird. 43.
I definitely like Philly favored by 8.5 or 9.5. I don't know which one's which. The live line is 9.5, so currently it's at 9.5 favor. I'll take that. I'll take Philly. I like Philly money line or cover. So
14 minutes till kickoff.
I know Howell underrated this year. I disagree, and I already said that. All right, let's move on to the Denver-Chicago game.
Toilet bowl. That's all I'm going to say about this. Let's move on.
One of these teams.
They don't have to win.
He knew what I was going to say. He knew what I was going to say.
Bet the tie. Do it. Do it now. Do it.
I actually take Denver in this game.
I do too.
I take Denver in this game. Chicago's been struggling to put any offense on the field.
Justin Fields has regressed badly.
I'm just saying Chicago's had a hard time putting any offense on the field. So that's the reason I take Denver in this game. And that is a very high score.
Yeah, that is.
I think these defenses are better than these offenses.
Yeah, I have the Broncos by a touchdown.
I have this 24-10 Denver.
Okay.
So I just
21-17 or 21-14 for me.
the over/under is 46.5 currently, and Denver's favored by 3.5 going
Stay
into
away
Chicago.
from the over/under.
Stay away from everybody on these offenses. Cortland Sutton, by the way, I watched that missed pass in the end zone last game, and you don't catch a ball that's coming across your body like this.
You catch it.
You catch it like this.
Or like
I was not a fan of the way he attempted to catch that ball. Or like this.
Yeah.
Not like this. They could possibly win that game if he actually just catches a ball.
Yeah. You know what you're paid to do.
And I love Cortland Sutton, and I saw that. I was like, trade. Trade.
Go away.
Yeah.
don't want you, then I don't either.
If you have to start Russell, you can start Russell. But if you
I
don't
start
have
Russell
to,
over Justin Fields.
yes, I would too.
Do not start. I would bench Justin
Johnny,
Fields.
I kind of like the 14-12. I just see I see some offense from Denver, and they've been able to put somewhat of an offense on the field.
Which I can see. I can see 3 field goals.
I don't like any of this running
4
games.
field goals.
If I had to start somebody, I like Roshan. I think they should just hand Roshan the ball and just see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, Javonte has been a shell of himself.
And you know what? This could be the game we're completely wrong on.
Yeah,
and
watch,
then
it's like-
and Chicago shows up this
Like
week.
41 to 10.
I agree with you. I
no-
hate this game. I
just-
don't even want to watch this game. I'm just
No.
going to read the reviews on this game. It's a 1:00 game that I don't want to turn on. All right, moving on from this game. Let's go into the other shit show of a game. The other two 0-3 teams facing off. Minnesota is the best 0-3 team in the league.
I'm happy you said that because I was about to harp on that.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
I mean, the best 0-3 team in the league. Carolina is the second best 0-3 team in the league. But Bryce Young is what Bryce Young is. We've said this since the start of the season. He's struggling seeing over the line. He can't make clean passes.
Yep.
That's Bryce Young.
Minnesota is giving 4.5. The under/over is 46.5.
All right, so
take
Minnesota favored in this game going into Carolina. Keep that in mind. This line has changed. When the game started, it was 3. It's now 4.5.
That means-
so it's leaning in Minnesota's favor.
And
Do
you just if I with that line, I just take the money line of.
I think I'm gonna agree with Race in this one. I like the Vikings 23-16. I'll agree with that. So you took the over though.
Yeah, I would start Kirk. I would start Madison. I start everybody. I mean,
If you have any other running back over Madison, I'd start him.
Even KJ Osborne.
Here's the thing. I'll start the entire receiving core on Minnesota. I'll start Hawk. I'll start KJ. I'll start JJ. I'll start Addison. I'll start Kirk. I'll take all that.
Yeah.
Here's the question I have for you. Minnesota goes up by 2 scores.
Yeah,
Okay.
run the ball.
Do you see what you have at running back? Does Cam Akers get a bulk to see what he's capable of over Madison? Could this be like that game where
where what happened with Swift kind of thing?
yes, like the Swift, you
They
had
just
3 running backs and then they're like, well, let me see what Swift capable. Let me see. And then they saw the holes. Swift hit him. Swift became that guy.
Swift looks like Swift of when he was drafted to Denver. Or not Denver, I'm sorry, Detroit.
Yeah, I would say it's Detroit.
Yeah.
So my thing here is I think you could see, and this is a huge if. Like Minnesota has to go up by 2 scores for this to happen.
Yeah, I mean this
is a huge run game. So that's the reason I like the 23-16 argument because they're going to give up some points in that fourth quarter, but you have the capability to start running. If I really kind of looked at this right, I think 28-21 Minnesota.
Yeah.
I like the touchdown, so I would kind of go a little higher. But I mean, the Panthers. Who do we see getting the points on that team? Is it going to be a nice run game?
It's Thielen.
Is Miles
Thielen.
Sanders going to get a bulk of the carries with? Is it going to be Miles Sanders with Chuba?
I think Miles out.
He's questionable. Okay. I did see that. Is he out?
I would start Thielen. I don't touch Terrence Marshall Jr. in this game. I don't touch Bryce Young in this game. To be honest, the only guy that I am starting today in that game on the Panthers side is Adam Thielen.
Yeah, I still got Miles.
Mingo, good point. Mingo. I like Mingo in this game.
I like Miles Sanders is still questionable with a groin injury.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to.
He's expected to be active for Week 4 versus Minnesota per NFL per rap.
I start Mingo and I start Thielen.
So I like Miles Sanders. Here's the thing: I don't know if I injure Miles Sanders in this game, so Chuba might get more of the carries because if you are losing, you're just going to go to Chuba because you paid Miles for 3 years.
Yeah.
So I kind of like people don't understand these teams are trying to conserve their running backs if they can.
And that's what we were
So
talking
if you're
about.
0-3, you're not going to put the guy you paid for the next 2 years.
Go look at what the Colts did with JT.
I mean, you can look at Colts did with JT. You can look what the Bengals did with Joe Mixon when the year Burrow got injured. Joe Mixon was out for like 9 games because they were like 0-6 at the start of that season. So is that it? That's it for the 1 o'clock games. Who do you have? Did you pick your score?
Vikings I'd say Vikings by 10.
All right, I kind of like that. Let's move into the 4 o'clock games, and we have the Las Vegas Raiders versus the LA Chargers.
So, real quick.
Divisional game.
Yep, Aiden O'Connell is starting at quarterback, not Brian Hoyer.
Both 1-2. Aiden O'Connell is better than Brian Hoyer, FYI.
I agree. I love this kid coming out of college.
Him and Ryan both liked Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell proved to me in the preseason that Aiden O'Connell was what they saw.
Yes.
So I am on the Aiden O'Connell train. I just have, like I told you 2 weeks ago, ugly quarterbacks aren't usually good in the NFL, and that's usually what my basis is based off of. There is like a ridiculous percentile that like 80% of quarterbacks are attractive, and Aiden looks like a troll under a bridge. And I nothing against Aiden. I'm sure he'll find somebody.
Excuse me?
Wow.
Sure he'll find somebody. Yeah, take it easy, Johnny. Good luck.
I'd start so I'm going to start with the line real quick, actually. Line is the Raiders are getting 6.5, and the under-over is 48. I would start Jacoby Myers. I start Josh Jacobs. I start Devontae Adams. Depending on what type of a league you're in, I don't know if I start Aiden O'Connell. If you're in a deeper league with the 2 quarterbacks, I would.
I would start Aiden O'Connell in this game.
Yeah,
I love
just
Aiden
because
O'Connell in
of
this
that
game.
defense.
The only thing I don't trust, and I was telling you that earlier, was the Jacoby Myers thing. I see a lot of Devontae Adams targets. I see a lot of Josh Jacobs in this game. If you got Josh Jacobs in this game, start Josh Jacobs because we already know the Chargers defense is a shell of what they're paid to be.
Yeah.
Not what they've ever been, because they've never been what they were paid to be.
Yeah, if they lose in this game, don't be surprised if Brandon Staley is fired at the end of the day.
They shouldn't lose in this game because they're still putting up like 30 points a game. And the touchdowns, I think, are an issue with the Raiders. They're just having a hard time scoring.
Yeah.
So if I had to...
I think that's a Josh McDaniels type of situation there with the
and you're going into LA, and LA's favored. I mean...
So start him, sit him for me.
Mike Williams is out for the year with an ACL injury.
So you start Keenan Allen. I would start Josh Palmer.
Thank God you did not. Nope, don't say it.
I'm sitting Quentin Johnson.
Okay.
I'm sitting Quentin.
Okay.
I'm sitting. I'm happy we agree on that.
It's like, don't say it.
Because that guy has yet to prove anything, and he has played, I believe,
What about the tight end?
13% of the snaps this year.
Who's the tight end? Do we start the tight end?
Donald Perriman.
Is Perriman their tight end?
I think so.
I'll look it up. Go ahead.
Eckler is, I think, probable or doubtful. Hold on.
So the tight ends are Stone Smart and Donald Parham. And Donald Parham was kind of the receiver.
I'd start Parham if I had to pick.
Parham.
Parham.
Like half a ham, Parham.
I'd start. So Par. I got Par and Ham. I would start Parham. Hold on real quick.
No, you're good. What were we going to say?
I believe.
Do you start the tight end?
Eckler is doubtful, so Eckler's not going to start. And I.
Eckler. I think Eckler's supposed to be out.
I don't
to be
start
honest.
Kelly because he didn't do it the last time that Eckler was out.
trust Kelly against the Raiders. I just don't trust. I don't know. The Raiders it's a questionable group.
I don't even flex him. I don't flex him. I don't.
By the way, I am hoping O'Connell comes out and balls out, and Jimmy just got overpaid again to sit on the bench. I really do. I hope Aiden O'Connell has a day.
You know what Aiden O'Connell reminds me of?
I still can't trust Michael Mayer or Austin Hooper in this game.
No.
So I'll be
honest. I didn't even know Austin Hooper was on the Raiders. Michael Mayer, I knew he was on.
Austin Hooper's been there for 2 years, I think. Chargers 27-24 Raiders.
I like that score. But I'm going to go with the Raiders. I'll take the Raiders in this game.
No, I definitely like the Chargers in this game. I'll take the favor in this game. I'll take the Chargers 32. You know what? You know, Race, I'm going to take your score. 27-24. I like that
I'll
score.
take the Raiders on that score though. 27-24.
They have a habit of that game has a habit of being a field goal apart. So I like that
especially
score.
in that division game in LA. Rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
I think.
So obviously we're taking the Raiders to cover because it's a 6.5-point favor on the Chargers.
Yeah.
So I would almost take the Raiders to cover that because that is a pretty big spread going into LA. Divisional game. I would almost take the spread for the Raiders on this one. That being said, we kind of named off our starters in that game. Let's get into the... I want to take this game. I want to call this an upset. I really, really, really do. Arizona going into San Francisco. The problem is...
It's going to be like 30-3, buddy. It's going to be 30-3.
I don't know, man. Was it Dallas just being so bad, or has Arizona been such a good team to start? So unexpected, so underrated.
I hate
Josh
Dallas.
Dobbs is like one of the best quarterbacks right now because he's not making mistakes, and I don't think he's like a great quarterback. It's crazy. I went Cardinals to win. I like it. Oh, he wants the Cardinals to win. I thought he said he wants them to win.
Marquise Brown is questionable with a thumb injury. He is expected to play, but again...
That's fine. Mike Wilson's balling out, baby. Mike Wilson has been balling out, and Ryan called that.
You also have Rondale Moore, too.
Yeah, like James Conner, been balling out. The problem is I just don't know if James Conner is capable of getting past this defensive line.
know.
This defensive line is so stout, but I said they're weak in the secondary, and can Josh Dobbs do it? Can Josh Dobbs do it?
I really hope so, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to take.
No, you're gonna start the 49ers defense, and you're gonna take 4 sacks for the 49ers defense. Josh Dobbs is gonna get just demolished.
I start Brock Purdy.
James Conner is gonna run for 20 yards.
I start Purdy. I start Ayuk. I start CMC.
Is Ayuk playing?
He should be. I thought he was.
No, go ahead. I'll look it up.
I start Debo. I'm not sure if he's injured. I don't know if I start Kittle in this game. I don't know. I know it's, but the problem is
I'll tell you in a second if you start him because I was right last week.
But my issue with this is if they go up a lot, they're going to pull CMC, and Elijah Mitchell is going to get a lot of those carries because they're saving CMC. If you watch the last couple of games where they have gotten
I start
late,
Kittle.
You start Kittle?
Cameron Latsu's still out.
Oh, yeah. You start Kittle. Thank you.
Yeah, which means he's just going to be on the field like 95% of the time.
He's going to be used as a blocker a lot. So,
but he will have that ability to catch.
Yeah.
Ray McLeod is the 3. Ayuk is probable. So he should be playing.
Okay.
So he should be playing. Juwan Jennings, doubtful. So this could be who was the other kid? Not Ray.
No, you're thinking of Hill. Ronnie Hill or Rodney Hill.
Was that what his name was?
I think so.
The kid out of Michigan?
Ronnie Bell?
Bell. I liked Bell last week.
Ronnie Bell, yes.
That's the kid out of Michigan, I think.
Yeah, last game he had 2 receptions for 24 yards and a touchdown. But guess what? That's 10 points. That makes a big
he only got targeted, but that's because Juwan was healthy.
He both his targets,
yeah.
2 of 2. I mean, obviously it's not a lot, but
No, you got to start Ayuk. You got to start CMC. You got to start, like you said,
I'm not
Debo.
I'm not starting Elijah Mitchell, but I think Elijah Mitchell is going to get some touches in the fourth quarter when they're up by a boatload, or if they're up in a boatload in the third, don't be surprised because they're going to pull CMC.
I would be surprised. I just don't like that cover. I don't like the 37-13.
I have 33.
Arizona has proved everybody wrong 3 games in a row. Like right now they would be 3-0 if they didn't feel like we blew 2 games on purpose, right? The one game they lost and seemed very intentional.
That was on purpose.
So I want to take. Fuck it, I'm taking Arizona. I'm taking Arizona, and it's going to be 24-23 Arizona. They're going to win by a point.
I'm taking the Niners.
They're winning by a point. I'm taking it. I'll put money on it. I'm taking it.
30-3.
I probably won't put money on it.
30-3.
But I'm taking it. Oh, God, I'm a Dobbs truther, baby. All right, we'll get out of this game. I know everybody's like, shut up. New England going into Dallas. Belichick just saw Dallas get exposed by the Arizona Cardinals.
I stake New England.
I'm taking New England. Dallas doesn't know how to win games when they need to.
I think this is a Ramondre Stevenson show-up game. I would start Ramondre.
Bill O'Brien, Mac Jones, Bo all downfield, all day, 340 yards for Mac Jones against the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Yeah, I would start, obviously, both quarterbacks in this game. You start both wide receiver ones in this game. I would start both running back.
Micah, under 1 sack, which means he's getting 0.
Hey, do you start Zeke?
No.
Bill Belichick is about to troll Dallas with cutting Zeke in Dallas, and Zeke is going to run all over Dallas.
Maybe
all
Zeke.
day
You
long.
think Zeke's in Belichick's here? Dude, just put me in.
Yeah.
Put me in, coach.
Watch, Zeke's going to get like 121 yards, 2 touchdowns, just.
Race, this is ridiculous.
Chinese don't want you.
Race, this is
I
getting
don't
ridiculous,
either.
man. I feel like everybody's on the same page as us this week. Either that or we're all just fans, like ridiculous fans of the underdog.
I don't know. I like the Patriots. I think this is a heavy running game for the Patriots.
I disagree with you completely
Okay.
on that fact. What's the kid's name that
Ramondre?
No, their wide receiver.
I always forget about this guy, and I feel so bad.
It's N'Kobe Dean. No, that's the tight. That's the defensive end.
N'Keal Harry.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I say that every week.
Yeah, it's not. N'Keal Harry was like on the Bears. He's no longer even there. I can never remember his damn name because every time you'll go like Jacoby Myers. No, he's not on the Raiders. Like, N'Keal Harry. No, he hasn't been there for 3 years. Like,
I think it is N'Keal Harry.
no, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, Kendrick Bourne.
Kendrick Bourne. I like Kendrick Bourne. I don't even do they Juju? Is that it? Like Kendrick Bourne and Juju? Could Juju be in this week? Is this a Juju week?
Devontae, maybe? Parker?
DeAndre?
He hasn't done anything. It's Devontae.
Oh, is it Devontae Parker? Yeah, you're right. Hey, I'm just gonna say it. Like, this is a Mac Jones week. Start Mac Jones.
Okay.
Dallas defense. I don't think they're gonna be able to get to him.
Do you think
Belichick's gonna build an offense?
KJAM booty game?
No, he's not even been on the field.
No.
It's Devontae Parker, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Kendrick Bourne. And Kendrick Bourne has been the guy, but I think everybody's going to have about 6 receptions in this game. Even Gesicki and what's that? Hunter Henry.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry
and Mike Gesicki. They're two. He loves running 2 tight end sets with Mac Jones. Bill O'Brien loves running that. He ran that a lot with the Texans when he was the head coach, and he ran it a lot in college.
Yeah, I like Bill O'Brien. I like Bill O'Brien in this offense, and I've been saying this since the offseason. I think Mac Jones is going to have a day. It's going to be a day for Mac.
Yeah.
So, and I think Dallas is going to be exposed. It's Belichick, man. Belichick's not going to let this shit go.
Watch Zeke run all over
And
Dallas.
here's what I will tell you. Do not start Dak. I see 2 interceptions today and maybe 200 yards and a touchdown. So,
do not start Dak.
I don't like starting Dak.
No, don't start Dak.
Tony Pollard, they're going to make him throw is what they're going to do. They're going to make Dak throw, and he's going to make mistakes.
Yeah, you still have to start.
And
Tony,
I will
though.
say this might be one of those games where don't trust the word I say because I'm super Dak biased. Never been a Dak fan.
I hate Dak.
I think Dak is highly overrated. It's funny. Dak was the most underrated quarterback coming out of college when he got drafted. And now
NFL?
ever since he's been in Dallas and Zeke was there and they had the greatest offensive line,
Uh-huh.
he's the most overrated quarterback. And the offensive line is older, injured, and Zeke's no longer there. And it's just not looking good. You know who I will start at the flex position, though, is Dowdle.
Dowdle.
Yeah, I would
The
Rico
tight end?
Dowdle. No, backup running back.
Rico Dowdle.
Tony Pollard might get injured this
Uncle
week.
Rico's playing.
Tony Pollard might get injured this week.
He might. Zeke might shoot him in the
I
leg.
think no. Well, I don't know about that. I think no. Tony Pollard he's never been the workhorse back, and they've leaned on him so much.
Lately, yeah, the
It's-
last 2 games a lot.
I don't trust this. I don't trust his leg. I mean, he got injured, and they're just like, "You're the guy." I thought he was going to rest for the first 2 weeks,
They should have.
and they ran him like 35 times the first 2 weeks. It's insane. So, the defense has kept that offense off the field, to be honest. But it's just one of those things. I don't like Dallas, and we all know that Dallas struggles every year against the Patriots if they play them.
Yeah.
So, and Belichick's one of the greatest coaches of all time. So, like, I'll always, if I don't like the game, I'm going to look at the coach, and I'm going to lean on the side of the better coach a lot of times. So, Mac Jones, and we can have this argument all day, Mac Jones and Dak Prescott might just be the same guy. They might be.
I don't hate that argument. You're not
So,
wrong. Either
the only difference is Dak has a way better receiving core.
Yeah.
And Brandon Cooks, I think, is healthy, and I think he's playing this week. So, but that might give the downfield. So that might be an upside for Dallas.
Meh.
So I'm going to pick a score. My score is going to be the Patriots
17. Dallas 7.
Patriots 21, Dallas 17.
Okay. I have Patriots 17, Dallas 7.
Which his was a little bigger spread,
Okay.
11-point spread. What were they favored by?
They were favored. Hold on.
I'm all over the place.
I just had it pulled up. It closed.
They are favored by 6. Dallas is favored by 6 right now. So actually, it's trending New England.
Take New England.
It started at 7. It's trending New England. But don't forget, this is in Dallas. This is in Dallas, too. So that could be a huge factor.
Take New England in the points. Do it now.
Yeah, do New England to cover.
Do it now.
Over-under is 43. Race, you took 45, so you took the over. I don't like the over-under in this game because it could be a ridiculous high-scoring game or a ridiculous low-scoring game.
It's a very weird. That spread is weird for these two.
It could be a super defensive battle. Record this year, the Patriots are 1-0 on the road, and Dallas is 1-0 at home. Obviously, there's only 3 games, so
a very small percentile to go off of.
Yeah.
And now we have the best game of the weekend.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I almost forgot about that game. Sunday Night Football. If you guys love Sunday Night Football, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at the New Jersey Jets.
The New Jersey Jets.
The New Jersey Jets. Patriots always have low-scoring games on the road, so maybe Patriots 19-14 Cowboys. That's what I'm saying. Like that very well could be a 19, like a super low. I mean, it could be like the Jets game that we just saw.
Yeah.
What was that? 15-10. Like it could be that game.
Bill Belichick's defense always played very well on the road. I feel like too.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And I want to see Bill O'Brien turn up Mac Jones. That's all I want to see. And he did week 1, and then it's went downhill.
I don't know what happened.
So they played better defenses.
I guess.
Kansas City Chiefs roll over the Jets.
I'll make this easy for
Weak
you.
ass defense.
I don't even know if I start Garrett Wilson tonight. I don't. I don't know.
I have to because they're gonna sling it.
Brees Hall.
Is Trevor Siemian starting?
Do you start Brees Hall?
Is it Trevor Siemian?
No, I think Zach is starting. No fun.
That's who they picked up, though, right? Siemian?
Yes, Trevor Siemian. So which is Zach Wilson light?
He might be heavy. Trevor Siemian has 1 more games than Zach Wilson.
Maybe Zach Wilson light is maybe Zach Wilson is Zach Wilson light.
I've said this for about 2 weeks now. Do not start a single running back on the Jets. I know that a lot of people think it's funny that how can you not start Brees Hall or Dalvin Cook? But to be honest with you, Kansas City Chiefs only going to game plan for Brees Hall and Dalvin Cook, and then they're going to let their secondary play man-to-man.
Get ready for Zach Wilson to throw 3 interceptions.
He's never done that before.
Yeah, he has.
He might be the only quarterback that's done it multiple times. I'm just saying.
He's going to be seeing ghosts again.
Kansas City 45-10. Kansas City 45-10. I did not. You know what's funny? His chat came in just after I said that. It hasn't showed up over here yet. Why is it not? There it is.
There it is.
Kansas City 42-13. Your chat came in just after I said that.
I like it.
I said 45-10. So he took 3 points and gave them to the Jets.
Here.
Coward. You coward. You know that the Chiefs aren't even going to let it. This could be the 70-point win. It's 72, Kansas City 5.
I think this is the game that the Jets defense quits on them. I'll be honest.
Kelsey 3 touchdowns.
I hope so.
Kelsey, I don't own him. I hope I'm not playing him this week. I hope I'm not playing him this week. Kelsey 3 touchdowns. Isaiah Pacheco is going off. It's a Pacheco game. And I'm going to tell you right now, everybody's going to be like, but it's the Jets defense. Like, they're good. They're abused. They're the redheaded stepchild who is great. And I'm going to tell you right now, that poor defense is on the field 45 minutes out of a 60-minute game.
They're tired.
They are exhausted. Hey, Zach Wilson, 3 and out. Zach Wilson, 3 and out.
5 more minutes.
Zach Wilson, 2 interceptions. Zach Wilson, 3 and out.
Zach Wilson, fumble. Recovery.
I will start Garrett Wilson just because they've got to throw it.
That's all I'm starting.
Garrett's probably going to get targeted 12 to 14 times. He's going to get 7 receptions.
That's the only person on that team I am starting, I guess.
I'll start Conklin. He's going to get 10 targets. He's probably going to have 6 or 7 receptions for 40 or 50 yards. Yeah, that's about it. He'll overthrow it 15 times when he's just Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, somebody else that might get good targets is your boy out of Green Bay. What's Randall Cobb? He's been fighting for that team. He's been fighting for that team.
Lazard has been a shadow. He has yet to show up in any game without.
Shadows show up more than him.
Oh, I'm sorry. He has shown up like...
He's a shadow on a sunny day. No, cloudy day. Cloudy day. Cloudy day. That's a bad reference.
He's like a dad that went to go get milk. That's Alan Lazard.
Bro, he just never came back.
Yeah.
That hits home. No, I'm just kidding. All right, I think that's all I got for you today. Obviously, we're going to have a show tomorrow at 6 for the Monday night
It's up to you. 6, 5:30. I'm good. Either time.
We'll try at 5:30. We'll try. We're gonna try to do that at 5:30. So we'll have that show. One other thing I know Wheels wanted to get in this today. News.
Yeah,
You said that there was a rule change in the league. I was unaware of this. I heard some talkings about this, but there was a little bit of a rule change. He's going to give you this rule change.
So Jamison Williams is coming back after this week. He'll be back. So one of the rule changes is betting on...
They reduced his suspension from a 6-game to a 4-game suspension.
So betting on non-NFL sports from the workplace now will lead to this discipline. First violation is 2-game suspension without pay. Second violation is 6-game suspension without pay. Third violation is suspension without pay for at least 1 year. There's also a new rule that betting on NFL games is a 1-year suspension automatically. Now, if it is found that you are betting on your own team, that is a 2-year suspension automatically. And if it is found that you are fixing or shaving points or giving insider information on games, that is also a 1-year suspension automatically.
All right. So now that you said that, all of these fucking rules should apply to referees.
100%.
And research should be done on every single referee
Mainly the
before
guy
game.
that called the Amari Cooper out of bounds, because I guarantee he had somebody else's the first touchdown.
I never thought about that. I never thought about the first touchdown aspect of it. That would be crazy, though.
I'm telling you.
That would be crazy.
You're
screwing up my parlay.
I know every fan says
God.
the refs are screwing us, but you know what?
That was
Everybody
bad. That
bets.
was bad.
That dude was a good yard.
That was bad.
From out of bounds.
The Mostert game was just recently. They hit Mostert, checked and then went back in bounce, and they reviewed that one.
Yeah, it's because of who was it? It was.
That's what they should have done, though. They should have let Amari continue, not called it, and then reviewed it if he scored.
Ever since Battlegate, the refs have hated us.
And then, to be honest, you can challenge that.
Yeah.
You could challenge it being out of bounds. The other way, it's an unchallengeable play.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. Ref should have been fired that day.
Yeah, he should have.
Bad judgment
awful.
call.
I mean,
all right, but that being said, I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to let it go. That being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday, and I hope you win your bets. Peace out.
Yeah, see you Monday.